Okay. So I got the sign diagram for fx as this. Do you get that?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, miss.
So
I get it.
okay. So I'm going to ask one by one. Continue
Wait,
from.
sorry, miss. How did you get the negative root 3?
How do I get the negative root 3? Okay. So I asked you yesterday when we want to draw the sign diagram, first step, you draw the x-axis, correct? Yeah. Then you tell me what is the second step?
X-intercept.
And the accent.
X-intercept. Okay, you look for the x-intercept or x-intercept. I don't know how many. So what do you mean by x-intercept? That means you have to let what equal to 0?
Fx equal to
Y
0.
equals to 0.
Y equal to 0. Okay, so that means I have, this is my y, correct? Or this is my fx. So you have to know how to, so equal to 0, correct? Product of two expression equal to 0, that means either one of them can be 0. Am I right? So from here I solve. So when I take square root, that means there are two possible answers. It can be negative root 3 or it can be positive root 3. Because if I say root 3 square, I get 3.
Oh, okay, yeah, I understand.
So here I got negative 4. So you have to be very careful. Okay. So after I get ready, I mark. So I mark down. Because this is a polynomial. So the domain, I know. For a polynomial, the domain can be any real value of x. That is the reason I put the arrow to both sides. So I mark down negative 4 from the smallest to the biggest. Okay, so there are four regions. Okay, there are 4 regions. So I can use my graphic calculator to determine the sign. Okay, so can you tell me how to use a graphic calculator and get the sign? Johan? Mr. Johan, can you tell me how to use your graphic calculator to know the sign for all these regions?
First, you have to press alpha and then.
First, you have to key in the function first. You key in the function already?
Yes, in the Y, right?
Yeah, in the Y1. Then
And just
after that,
to confirm, the function is technically x cubed plus 4x squared.
no, you don't have to expand.
Oh, you don't have to expand.
Why you need to expand? Why you want to waste your time? You key this into the calculator straight away. I will key like that. I will key like that into my calculator straight away. If I expand wrongly, then how?
So just immediately type in the
Yeah. You can just take the whole thing. You key in.
Give me a minute.
You don't have to expand, please. Your calculator know how to read any form you key in. Okay, if those who want to know why Mr. I can get it easily because for any polynomial, correct? If there is no repeated root, okay, and if the coefficient of the highest degree term, correct, is positive, So I will start from the right, positive, negative, unless there is a repeated root. Then there is no sign change. So I memorize like that. So I don't have to use graphic calculator. Okay, so it depends on how much you want to remember. That is only true for polynomial. Unless it's a repeated root, then there is no sign change across that x-intercept. Like yesterday, we did that one. Hello? So I cannot wait for you. So you slowly go and do. I'm not going to repeat which region, what value to substitute in. You key in the function already. Then after that, you key in already, you have to press second mode. Means you quit from there. So these are the steps that you have to. So after that, only you press alpha. I keep repeating alpha, then you select trace. Then you select your y1, then you key in whatever value, then you determine the sign. Okay? Hello? Can or not? You substitute in the correct value. If you don't know what value to substitute, what you can do is you can use your calculator to get the approximate value for root 3. That's 1 point. So this approximate value is 1.732. This approximate value is negative 1.732. So therefore, the answer for this question will be, I want it to be less than 0. Negative. That means my y is smaller than 0, imply the value of y is negative. And this also implies the graph of y equal to fx is below the x-axis. Right? So your answer will be x must be less than or equal to, because they got equal, negative 4, or x must be between or equal to negative root 3 and root 3. So this is how we use sign diagram to help us to solve inequality. Got it? Yeah. So today I'm going to introduce you with another 2 function. Yeah. Can we?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to introduce with what we so-called this our function. If I given you, okay, fx, or I can say gx, anything I like. Can someone mute yourself? Johan, can you mute yourself, please? Okay. So this type of function, what do we call it? We call it rational function. Okay, when you talk about rational function, that means there is something divided by something. That is called rational function. Or I can say a function divided by another function. Okay. Yep. So that is called a rational function. So when you talk about divide, we know that there is a very true fact. Correct? Why? Because something divided by 0 is undefined. Okay. So this is a concept that we have. So every time when we have a rational function, we have to be very careful. It's not like polynomial. X can be any value. The domain can be any value. So for rational function, straight away, we must first, okay, determine the domain. So how to determine the domain? We have to say that the bottom there cannot be 0. So we can factorize this, or you can use your calculator, cannot be 0. So that means these are the value of X that cannot be part of the domain. Okay, clear? You have to memorize, no choice. Okay, so therefore, the domain is X. X is a member of real number, and X cannot be 3. X cannot be -2. This is a rational function. So that's why when you draw the side diagram for a rational function, so first you have to determine the domain first. So this is the very important part. The bottom cannot be 0. So when I draw my side diagram for this, that is how it goes. This is my X. This is going to be side diagram for Fx. So that is the first step I do. Second step, I mark the, okay. So now I know X cannot be 3 and -2. So I straight away mark with dotted line, 3, mark with dotted line, -2. Okay? Clear enough? Okay, so now,
Miss, can you explain how to do it again?
what do you mean by explain how to do it again?
How to determine the domain?
You have a look at it, then you tell me how to determine the domain. Which part of the rational function that I'm taking? You tell me.
Okay, I saw it.
Thank you. You see, it's not that I don't want to tell you, correct? You can get it. So it's better you observe by yourself than I tell you. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes the teacher don't want to answer you, ask you to look for yourself. It's for your good, okay? Don't say the teacher is very harsh. In the class, the teacher is harsh, you learn a lot. If the teacher hoo ha ha with you, you didn't learn, okay? Okay, now you know how I get. So first, whenever you see rational function, whatever is it, whatever things I put in, first of all, you see what type of value of X will make the bottom equal to 0. Sometimes the bottom can be okay, I shouldn't use the word bottom because as a max, it should be denominator, correct? But I use the word bottom so that you can remember easily. Okay, denominator. Up is called numerator. Okay, it's not Miss Do don't know the term. Okay, so got it? So next, what should I do if I want to draw the sign diagram for this? Next, what should I do? Okay, Muklis, Mustafa.
Yes, miss.
Yeah, what should I do next? After, for rational function, this is a very important one. This is an extra step for rational function. All right, then what should I do next?
Uh,
If you can't, let me ask you. What should I do next?
do
Muklis?
I, do I,
Huh?
the region, if it's a negative or positive?
Huh? You
The
see
region.
where I tick?
Yeah. Oh, do I key in the calculator?
You key in the calculator, you see where I tick?
Find the x-intercept.
Yeah. When you want to draw side diagram, if your process is wrong, the whole thing is wrong. You cannot jump step. So for polynomial, first I find the x-intercept. For rational function, first I determine the domain. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So second step, what should I do?
Find the x-intercept.
Okay, can you tell me how to find the x-intercept?
Is it? Oh, but it can't. X cannot be 3, right? Because isn't it x equal to 3?
No, you see, all of us are, you see when you learn maths, correct? First of all, if I want to find x-intercept, what should I do first?
I'm not sure.
How can you say you are not sure after 1 week? Okay, you tell me what is the meaning of x-intercept. Please don't answer me with the word I'm not sure, okay?
The line where the line intercepts the x-axis.
Yeah, so if the graph cut the x-axis, so this is called the x-intercept. So which part of it is 0?
The y part. Y is
Yeah.
0.
So isn't it I have to write 0 equal to x plus 5 divided by this thing?
Oh, yeah.
So a fraction equal to 0, that means the top is 0, correct? Because if I bring this over, it multiply, I still will get 0, am I right?
Yeah.
So what is the x-intercept?
X equals negative
Yeah,
5.
negative 5. Hello? Are you clear?
Yeah.
So where is negative 5? Negative 5 must be somewhere here. So full line, negative 5. Am I right? Hello?
Yeah, you're right.
So now this number line is divided by how many, divided into how many region?
3.
4.
4 region. There is A, B, C, and the D here. Am I right? 4 region.
Right.
Yeah. So can anyone tell me what is the value of F negative 5? What is the value of F negative 5?
0.
Yeah, 0. Okay, correct. Because negative 5 is the x-intercept. So what is the value of F negative 2? Nicholas?
What is the value of f negative 2?
Yeah, what is the value of F negative 2? When x equal to negative 2, what is the value of y? Johan, mute yourself, please. Nicholas, answer, please. Nicholas, answer, please. Hello, Nicholas, you cannot keep silent. In my class, when I ask you the question, you better answer. Nicholas, do you
Yes.
get me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, please give me a value. Or if no value, you tell me undefined. If you can't find a value, you tell me undefined. You see, at -2 there, I put a dotted line.
It's undefined, teacher.
Yeah. So you see, I want you to pay attention. You get me? Okay. So now, take out your graphic calculator and determine the region, the sign. Okay. So when you key in your graphic calculator, you key in your y. You can key in your y2 up to you. Do you know how to make it to fraction? Hello.
No.
Can someone tell me how to make it to fraction?
Is it alpha the x t o n?
Yeah, you can go alpha. Okay, what you can do, if you are in the button y1, correct? You want to type in as a fraction so that it can come out like that, correct? So what you can do is you put alpha y equal to. You press these two buttons. Then they got give you a choice how you want your fraction to be like. You see or not? And you choose number 1. That is n over d. So if you choose number 1, then they will give you, you key in the top, key in the bottom. They'll come out with like that and with a space here. Then you can start to key in here and key in here. So explore, please. Press all the button, then you will know what is the use of all the button. You want to use the green color, you press alpha first. You want to use the blue color command, you press the second first. The rest, you just press the button and get whatever you want. That is how you play with your graphic calculator. Are you done?
So
Okay.
after key in, press.
Then you press second mode. Then after that, you test the region using alpha F1, you call out your function Y1. Are you clear? So I call out my Y1. So for region A, what number I choose?
4.
So in your graphic calculator, it should be Y1, 4. If you are keying into Y2, you select Y2. So if you key in 4, you want to choose 5 also can, it's up to you. So I get the answer as 3/2, so greater than 0. So I put here positive. So I know my graph will be above the x-axis. Yeah. Are you okay? So you continue with your that one. So region B, I prefer to choose 0. All right, it's easier. So you put second trace, change 4 to 0. I got negative. -5/6. So I put negative here. So I remind myself it is below the x-axis. So remember, always remember this is your x-axis. Okay, then region C, you just key in anything you like, but must be within -5 and -2. I put -3. Yeah. If you want, you put -4 also, it's not wrong. I just want to test for the sign only. So it's 1/3. So here will be positive. Then for region D, I choose -6. Okay. So I got -1/36. So here is negative. Okay, so I know that my graph is above, below, go above, then go below. Okay, now I have to let you know. So for rational function, if you plot the graph, shall we try to plot the graph now?
Yes.
Okay, we are going to try to plot the graph now. Okay, we try to use zoom fit. So the domain that we are going to choose, what domain are you going to choose? Your x-intercept is -5. X cannot be equal to 3. So we are trying to choose within this range for the domain. So can I go to the next page for sketching graph?
Yes.
Okay, so if we want to sketch the graph for this, since we have the sign diagram already, we want to sketch the graph for this one, correct? Okay, so we want to sketch the graph. So since we have the sign diagram like that already, -5, -4, am I right? No, I'm wrong. Can someone give me the answer?
2.
-2. Hold on. Okay, I have to put dotted, correct? Because it cannot take this value. Another one dotted, 3. So I have plus, minus, plus, minus. Okay, so now, before we go sketch the graph, okay, we are going to choose the domain. Oh, I shouldn't say the domain, okay? So I'm going to choose my X minimum. When I go to window, okay, I'm going to choose my X minimum.
Unknown.
I'm going to choose my X minimum as -7 and my X maximum as maybe 5.
Unknown caller.
Sorry, yeah. Okay, as 5 because of the range here. I want to include everything. Okay, so after I got this, then I go to zoom.
Unknown caller.
Sorry, yeah. Yes. Yes. Sorry, class. I go and get something. My student submit the folio. Okay, 1 minute.
Okay, take your time.
Okay, sorry, because my Gen intake, they submit their folio. Okay. Okay, so I go to Zoom, then I do a Zoom feed. Okay, before you go to Zoom feed, let me explain to you, because X cannot take this value, correct? So when you do your graph, you will see that the graph is cut into 1, 2, 3 pieces. They won't cross this, and we call X equal to -2 and X equal to 3 are the vertical asymptote. So this is something that you learn, new asymptotes. So that means when you sketch your graph that time, okay, let me show you, okay, here. So you will mark down dotted line here first. So these are some procedure that even before you sketch the graph, you know. So there will be one piece here, one piece down here, and another piece, okay, and you will pass through -5 here. So this one will be on top, this one will be one piece, the other piece, the other part will be below. So you see, from the side diagram itself, I can have the feature of the graph already. Are you okay? Okay, so now you try to do this and do a Zoom feed and see what your graphic calculator give you. The graph look like.
Got 3 lines.
Yes, I still got the same thing, bro.
You got the graph. It's not connected. Am I right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah. So you do a Zoom feed.
yes.
So that's why you, before even you use the graphic calculator, that's why the sign diagram is very important. So you got the graph that go like this. So you put an arrow, you cannot touch. Then you got another one go some sort like this. There is some turning point somewhere here. I don't know where. Correct? Then another piece will go like this.
Yes.
Okay. So that's why rational function, there's a lot of things to teach you. So please, when you get the domain, you will get the vertical asymptote. So there are two vertical asymptotes, x equal to -2 and x equal to 3 here. Got it? So how to get the vertical asymptote if the question asks you? You get it by finding the domain of a rational function. Right? Hello?
Right.
Right. That's why if any rational function now I give to you, it doesn't matter. As long as you follow the process, you can get the answer. Okay. Can you try to find the coordinates of this turning point? Practice what you have learned. That is a maximum. This is called local maximum.
So is it 0, y, x0, y, -0.9?
I don't know. You have to ask your friend. I haven't found yet.
How to find?
How to find? Young man. Okay, anyone in the class want to help? I will not. How to find?
Press the second trace.
Thank you. So I write exactly what your friend said. Second trace.
Oh,
Then,
so wait, is it -1 and x -1, y -6?
wait. Second trace, then? Just who is
Press
one?
number 4 to get
Number
maximum.
4. Yeah, number 4 to get maximum. You see, young man, you are not in my class. If your friend now means, okay, then after that, you try to go left bound, right bound, correct? Try to go over a little bit. Try to go down a little bit, okay? Because the turning point is not obvious. So you try to go a bit below. Yeah. So then the screen will say that the X is negative 0.101, correct? And the Y is negative 0.8319. So later we will use our calculus to get the exact value of it. Are you okay? So I can, during the quiz, I can give you a rational function. I ask you for vertical asymptote. I ask you for turning point, coordinates of the turning point. I ask you to sketch the graph. I ask you to draw the sign diagram. So then I can even ask you, okay, find the interval of x whereby fx is less than 0. Am I right? Okay, now, are you okay now? Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, huh? Okay, so now, if you have a look at the graph, I think the other function, I will talk about it tomorrow. Okay, I redraw the graph because I want to teach you another thing. So from this slide, we learn how to determine the x-intercept, how to determine the vertical asymptote. You see, just now the interruption make my mind already. Okay, vertical asymptote. Okay, so important thing, vertical asymptote and the graph. Yeah. So even before your graphic calculator give you the graph, you roughly know how is the graph look like because you have the sign diagram. Got it? So sign diagram important or not? Important. Okay, next. Okay, if we look at the graph, okay, let me draw the graph again. So the turning point should be somewhere here, okay? Okay, so now, if you look at here, I want to know what happened to my function fx. I want to know, okay, I want to study S as X tends toward approaches, okay? Approaches. Okay, if you go to this side, it approaches what? Infinity. If X approaches infinity, what do you think my fx will be like? Okay, let's study the two parts of fx. Okay, can you tell me what will happen to this expression x plus 5 will become if x tends toward infinity? Can someone? Infinity plus 5? I did. Infinity. Am I right?
Yes.
Then what happened to the bottom one? X squared minus x minus 6. It also will tend toward infinity. But you think the first infinity is bigger or the second infinity is bigger?
Neither.
Look carefully.
Oh, the
Second infinity. Yeah.
first.
Yeah, second infinity is much, much bigger. This is your imagination, huh? You please don't write that, huh? First one. Okay? So when you talk about this, so now my fx is the first infinity divided by the second infinity. What do you think? It will approach what?
Negative.
It will approach what? Okay, let me train you to imagine like that. You imagine like that. Big number divided by very, very, very big number.
Zero.
So what? Yes, it will approach 0. So that is how you imagine when you study this. So it will approach 0. Look, the rest of the value is positive or negative. You see the graph is above, right? So that means it approaches 0 from above. So this is the lower limit. So we say from above. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce you another term. So this one, y equal to 0 is the horizontal asymptote. So if you look at this graph, we have 2 horizontal asymptotes. One is here. The other one, I think, is here. I'm not very sure. I'm going to test it out. So if you want to look for horizontal asymptote, listen, horizontal asymptote. If you want to look for horizontal asymptote, you must do the study of this. So a lot to take away for today, because it's a lot of new terms. So you repeat. So now another horizontal asymptote I may get, I may only, I don't know. So I'm going to study as, look, if you go to the left, we say as x approaches negative infinity. So what will happen to, that means over here, there is another turning point also. So because we don't sketch the graph, I think over here, there's another turning point. If you don't believe me, after you sketch the graph, you can, okay, what happened? So the graph for this part, correct? Let me enlarge it. Here, I put -2 here. Okay, this is your x equal to -2. And here is your 5. So the graph may go like that. I think so. And it will go like this. There is another turning point here. You can readjust your graph afterward. So I magnify this part. Okay. So as x tends toward negative infinity, okay, let's see what happened to x plus 5. It will tend toward hello? Negative infinity, right? What will happen to x squared minus x minus 6? It will tend to
Infinity.
no, infinity, yes, because square. So infinity. But this one is very, very big. Yeah, this one is big. So therefore, my fx, which is x plus 5 over x squared minus x minus 6 will tend towards 0. But this one will be the upper limit. Do you know why? Because here is negative, divide by positive. So this will be the upper limit. And this is from below. There, the graph from below. It approached the 0 here. Yeah. So they have only one horizontal asymptote. That is y equal to 0. Okay, so for polynomial, we don't have vertical asymptote, we don't have horizontal asymptote. So horizontal asymptote and vertical asymptote, it will happen to rational. And later we will study other function. Okay? So I'm going to conclude the takeaway today. Okay. Every time when we want to draw a sign diagram for the rational function, first of all, you must determine the domain. Bear in mind, the bottom of the rational function cannot be 0. So you mark dotted line on the sign diagram. After that, you continue with the process of how to draw the sign diagram for any given function. Okay, with the help of the sign diagram, then it can help us to sketch the graph. Graphic calculator will give you the shape, but sometimes they didn't give us a clear picture. So we use our sign diagram to prepare the axis to substitute in. All right? Then this one is we know what to do with it. Okay. Yeah. Over here, I introduce to you what is vertical asymptote. Okay. Then over here, I introduce to you how to find the horizontal asymptote. You have to study what happened to the value of the function when x approaches infinity or the other direction, negative infinity. Clear? Watch through this video again and again. Okay, class? Thank you, class.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you.
Miss,
Miss.
bye. Thank you.
Miss, I actually have a question.
Yeah, okay, you can ask.
Why did the equation from the above become lower limit and the other one become the upper
No,
limit?
because you see the graph, this section of the graph, this is the lowest point. This section of the graph. And this section of the graph, it is the highest point.
What does it mean by the lowest point and the highest point from the
No. You see the graph, right? This section only, I'm talking about this section only. So it will approach 0 from here. So the rest of it are more than 0. Yeah. So that's why we call this the lower limit.
So if it's higher, then it will be lower limit. Above
No, the rest. If you say from above, that means this is the lower limit. That means the value of y is dropping. Do you see the value of y here is dropping? So this one, we call it the lower limit or the lowest it can go.
Oh,
That's it.
I get it.
Mm.
Thank you, Miss.
Okay, welcome.